It doesn't matter if a man is broke or has hella money. He can still be a predator. Love is no one in a million. It goes on and on and on. You give. Oh. Hey there, beautiful people. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Lindsay here. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. And if you've been here before, hey girl, hey, nice to see you again. So a couple months ago, a lot of you guys gave me feedback that you wanted to see me do more videos about topics that are important to women and commentary, advice videos. So here we are. I was minding my business on Instagram last week when Shade Room reposted this TikTok of this girl on a date with a young man, and he was making her walk home after she had put gas in his car and paid for the date. After she had put gas in his car and paid for the date. Now, I'm well aware that I am very late to this topic. I had never saw this video before last week until the Shade Room posted it, but it appears based off of the commentary videos that I saw that this clip is about 2 months old. But I just feel like a lot of the clips are not pointing out what I think is the most important, major red flag issue, stop the press moments in this interaction. But let's take a look at her clip and then we'll talk about that in a moment.
Literally just met him.
So you're just gonna sit on your phone?
Yeah, are you gonna get up and start walking?
Why do I have to walk? Like,
I mean, you look close enough to walk, so.
But you drove me here, so I don't get why I'm walking home all the time. Like, I don't get that. That doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, you know, you don't want to come back to my place, so there's no point in me not wasting gas. You can walk from here.
So, I mean, I feel like I don't want to go to your place because I don't know you well enough. And it's just like our first time meeting. Like, does that not make sense to you? I don't get it.
I mean, we spent the whole day together. I'm obviously attracted to you. You know, I don't see what the issue is. You can either come back to my...
Ooh, child. Okay. So, a lot of the commentary that I saw was commenting on the politics of who should have paid for the date, right? A lot of the women were furious because this man is clearly not a provider. He couldn't pay. Who shows up to a date without being able to pay? And then a lot of men were kind of like, which blows my mind, were kind of throwing shade to the young lady saying, well, couldn't you get your own Uber home? Like, I don't understand why you would expect a ride home. And also a lot of women shaming the young lady for being generous and offering to pay for the date. While I'm still trying to navigate my thoughts and ideologies about, you know, dating and who should do what, etc., etc. And really, I'm an outsider looking in because you guys know I'm engaged, and so I'm not navigating the world as a single person right now. But I do see positives, you know, on the femininity coaches and the hypergamy channels. And I also do see positives on the other side of the spectrum with women saying, hey, make sure you have your own money, be independent. I definitely see there are two sides of the same coin and they all have their pros and benefits. So the fact that she paid for the date doesn't really bother me much. Although I do think it is telling of the young man's character that he came ill-equipped to pay for someone that he asked out on the date, right? And the reason that I have this perspective is because unlike most people who are making commentary videos, I actually went and watched the young lady's YouTube video, which I will have linked down below. And she basically was explaining how, you know, for her, when it first started, she wasn't expecting to pay for the date, but when he pulled up to her house, he explained to her, hey, you know, I checked my account maybe like 5 minutes before showing up. I didn't want to cancel last minute, and unfortunately my check hasn't cleared. And the young man actually offered to do free activities in lieu of his check not clearing. And the young lady really wanted to go out to eat. She really wanted to go to a specific place. And since those are things that she really wanted to do, she offered to cover the bill. And the young man agreed to send her the money, you know, once his check came. And the reason she said she did that is because she understood. She's been in situations where she thought she was going to get a payment. She didn't get it. And she was ready. She had spent her time, you know, preparing for this date. And she really just wanted to go out. So if that's what she decided to do, then I get it. And for the most part, according to her, the date went well up until this moment. The issue for me is that, well, if that's how they had an understanding and that's the agreement that she decided to go along with, then who am I to judge and say that's not how you should navigate a relationship? If it worked for them, it works for me. I don't really care about the politics when it comes to that. However, everyone is so busy talking about calling her a pick-me or calling her, or, you know, trying to school her on this is why you don't overextend and this is why you don't do these things. Men are going to treat you different. And then a lot of women shaming him, you know, for not paying, right? It's all about the monetary. But the red flag for me is the coercion. It's the coercion. Okay? In this clip, this man expected sex from her. Let's just be very clear about that. He expected sex from her. And on the hypergamy side of things, I definitely understand. He expected sex from her without investing anything of his own except for time. So he didn't invest any finances, but felt entitled to her body. My issue with that is finances or not, he should not have felt entitled to her body. Even if he had paid for the whole date, if she didn't want to go home with you, sir, she didn't want to go home with you, and that should have been end of conversation. It should have been done. But the lady, the young lady, which I see she's young, that wasn't a red flag for her. Like, the man said, well, I mean, you're not trying to go back to my place. So if you're not trying to go back to my place, I'm not trying to waste gas. Like, you could just walk home. And she was so pressed about him taking her home that she didn't even recognize how crazy that is for someone to say to you, if you are essentially not going to sleep with me, I'm not going to make sure that you're safe. At that moment, she should have been done talking. Like, that should have been a red flag. She should have been done talking. At that moment, that should have been a very telltale sign that, hey, this is somebody I probably should not get in a vehicle with, and this is somebody I should definitely never entertain again, because that one small line that people seem to be overlooking is so telling that this is a predator. It's a predator. He is forcing her into a situation where she can possibly walk home and feel unsafe, as well as come to his house and feel unsafe. And no one's talking about that. Everyone's so worried about who's paying for what. They're not talking about the predatory behavior that this young man is exhibiting. And I just feel like, as women, these are the things that we really need to be paying attention to. These are the character markers that we're really going to be paying attention to, because it doesn't matter if a man is broke or has hella money. He can still be a predator. And I have a second example, just, you know, kind of going through that I'm going to show you guys, of another young lady who was out on a date, and the gentleman did actually pay for the date, but then again was expecting sex in return, which just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I know that men are physically driven and all of this stuff, but isn't dating about getting to know a person, assessing qualities, seeing if this is someone that you can grow or build with, or if you guys have mutual, just short-term, you know, goals and or ideas of what this encounter is going to be, like if y'all just want to be friends with benefits. Like, dating is to establish that. It should not be assumed that just because you spend time or money on someone that you are entitled to their body. You're not. You're not. And for women, just because you spend time with a man doesn't mean that you're entitled to his finances. Like, it goes both ways. But clearly there is a misconception there, because we are not discussing this, and that is problematic. So let's take a look at this next clip and talk about that as well.
All this food, drinks and stuff. Look at all these cups.
No,
baby. A bunch of cups. You need no baby.
See, I didn't know you was gonna be looking for all of that. Like, I thought we was just coming to vibe and, you know.
Vibe? No. When you vibe, you eat a hot dog. You know, vibe. You have some waters with some ice in it. This ain't no vibe. This ain't no vibe type of environment.
But see, I'm not like, that's a $10 plate. You think you finna?
No, $10 at a time. This thing was $32. We in Miami, okay, ma'am. What you ain't gonna do is set me up. You ain't gonna set me up like that now. We got to do something, you know.
So you that pressed for money?
No.
This is a $10 plate. You think I'm finna come back to your room for $10?
I mean, I ain't saying we had to do nothing. I just go back, you know what I'm saying? We can talk about the little Netflix, you know what I'm saying? That's all I was trying to do.
Okay, so what are you expecting? Because I'm not no.
I mean, what I'm expecting is for the night not to be over. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting for some gratitude instead of some damn attitude.
I mean,
that's what I'm expecting.
You can walk me back to my. I mean, you can walk me to my Uber.
No. I'm trying to walk you to my hotel room door. That's what I'm trying to walk you to. You know what I'm saying? You ate up all this damn food, drunk up all these drinks, and now you talking about some you tired, you getting ready to catch your Uber.
You know what?
You should have got Uber Eats. That's what you should have.
I mean, I could have. If I would have known it was gonna try, you was gonna try to like take me back to your room for some food, baby. That's what I would have did.
But I wasn't talking about the room for sex. I'm just saying we can go back, laugh, get to know each other, play a little soft music. You know, people don't.
It's 12:25 in the morning. Ain't nothing open but legs, baby.
No. But see, I'm a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is just that I bought a lot of food here, ma'am. All I'm saying, if we can just go back to the room. You know what I'm saying? And just talk, get to know each other a little bit more. Because you barely talk because you eating so damn fast. We didn't even get a chance to know each other. I don't know what your name is, where you work at, where you're from, how many kids you got. I don't know none of that. The interview, we never even got to
Stop trying to act like you don't know where I'm from. You just seen me in Atlanta. That's how, like, we was on the plane. You was like, let's meet up. So you saw me from
I get all that. But what I'm saying is, man, listen, I can't keep talking about, look, you had a whole plate of tacos. You had 3 drinks. I didn't get nothing to drink. And now you talking about, let me call my Uber because now you nice
my
and
Uber
cool.
is literally on the way. So what you gonna do? Like, you want me to cancel my Uber now? They charge you for that.
Listen, okay, they charge me for all this damn food, and I ain't get nothing out the deal.
What you want me to do? You want me to cash app you?
Yeah, I want my money back.
Okay.
I take my money back.
How much do you think I owe you?
Yeah, you owe me $48 and $100 for my time because I wasted it.
Okay, wait. The nachos was $10.
Hey man, we ain't 6 carrying the one. Send me my money and go about your business.
No. If we gonna be all the way fair about it, the nachos was $10. The drinks for 2 for $10, and I got a water. Baby, that's $20.
Well, run me my money. Run me my money.
I'll send you 25.
Yeah, well, send,
just because
you
I'm
know what?
generous.
Send me 25 and get the hell on.
You,
that
you
ridiculous.
can tip the girl.
Yeah. Let me get that. Yeah, the waitress was giving me the idea, boss. I should have bought her something to eat. At least I'd have got something out of the damn deal.
You see this?
Yeah.
25.
Send that.
That's what I'm about to send.
Send that. Do that.
Like, I'm not no petty. I'm not no petty girl. I'm not gonna make your room, though.
Man, listen, you ain't got to keep talking. Just get to walking.
Okay, so my Uber on the way. You not gonna walk me to the Uber?
No. Okay. Hell no. Get there the best way you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, the alarming thing that both of these young ladies have in common is that they continue to ask these men for rides home, transportation, or just any type of general covering, even though they displayed predatory behaviors. Like with the second video that we just seen, the man had very clear intentions, even though he was saying like, I mean, I'm just expecting for the night not to be over. I'm not saying we gotta have sex, but the night just can't be over. But then everything that he pointed to was doing exactly what she didn't want to do, which was to go back to his room. It wasn't like, oh, let's get a nightcap at like a bar, or let's go to like a lounge after this. He wasn't trying to spend more quality time. He clearly wanted access to her body. And the way that he disrespected her, degraded her when she was setting a boundary, so much so that he was willing to not only recoup his money, but also ask this woman to add $100 tax because his time was wasted, because he's walking away with absolutely nothing. What does that sound like to you? Mind you, this young lady has also invested the same exact amount of time as him. She has taken the same amount of time to put herself together. Homegirl was looking real cute, okay, to do her hair, to do her makeup. Invested the exact same amount of time. So walking away with nothing is not going on the date and not having access to that person's space, their mind, you know, getting to know them, their conversation. That's walking away with nothing. Just because you walk away with blue balls doesn't mean you walk away with nothing, sir, but it shows that you are a predator. And what saddens me is that she continued to ask, so are you gonna walk me to my Uber? You're not gonna walk me to my Uber? All the way until the very end. And this just goes to show that, like, we're not in tune with what's being said. We're not in tune. Like, immediately, once you pick up on that, ladies, you guys have to know, first of all, you have to know the signs to pick up on that. When someone is demanding access to your body, or even is assuming that they have access to your body, you need to run. Find the nearest exit and bolt right through it. because this person is just not safe to be around. And then if they're not safe to be around, putting yourself in situations where you can be in enclosed spaces with them is just, it's not a smart idea. It's not a smart idea. And I'm glad that both these young ladies made it home safely. I'm glad that they were able to put distance between them and these men. But it was just so telling to me that in the society we live in, so much of the commentary was about the dating politics, and none of it was about the potential harm to these women and the potential trauma that they could have gone through had she gotten in the car with him, or had she allowed this man to walk her to her Uber. Men like that have no control. Like, if he could act like this at the table in public, don't let him catch you, you know, on a side street alone, sis. Like, it's so scary. It's so scary. And what's even more scary to me is how many people missed it. They didn't even see it. Now, going back to Jai, the first girl, she did later post a follow-up video that I don't think is alive on the internet anymore. I think maybe she took it down. But that young man, after making her walk home, later called after he pulled up on her in front of her house, calling her, okay? And she got in the car with him. Again, very troubling. This to me is a telltale sign that it really did not register to her that this young man is not safe. Because she went back out again and got in the car with him, because he said that he was coming to apologize. He really didn't, you know, mean it like that. You know, it was a joke. I really just want to apologize. So first of all, he spent the gas money that he was trying to preserve to get to her house anyway, okay, to try and salvage whatever little bit of his ego, or try to create another window of opportunity to have access to her body. He found a way to her house anyway, and he brought her flowers. Where he get the money for the flowers when he couldn't put gas in his car, we don't know, but he bought her flowers and asked her, hey, can you just come outside? Can we talk? I really just want to explain myself. The way that I handled it earlier was a misunderstanding. I just want to explain myself. In the clip that I saw, there was really no explanation. All he did was gaslight her, telling her, well, you know, it really wasn't that far of a walk anyway, plus it was a joke. He tried to flip the narrative and put the blame back on her by saying when they were at the table and getting to know each other, he mentioned his daughter. And so she naturally asked, oh, okay, is the mother still in the picture? Do you have your daughter full time? And I guess he felt that she was encroaching on his privacy and just probing a bit too much. And so that's why he kind of caught an attitude at the end. Regardless of what the triggering thing was for him to catch an attitude at the end, the fact that he could even muster up that type of ideology or telling you, I'm not going to take you home if you ain't coming back to my place, means that it was already inside of him regardless. And another thing, so he tried to downplay the situation and put it back on her and make her feel like she was in the wrong for asking real questions. Like, if I have intentions on getting to know you and potentially partnering with you, and you tell me you have kids, I want to know what the dynamics are. That's a normal thing. Not to mention that he previously denied having said child. When they first started, I guess, communicating, he told her that he didn't have any children. And now is springing it on her at the date, oh, actually I have a daughter. Because one of her boundaries is that she doesn't date men with kids. So the manipulation, it's giving dangerous. It's giving dangerous, it's giving red flag. The manipulation of him basically discarding her when he didn't get what he wanted and being like, you could just walk home. And then trying to come back almost like Sour Patch Kids, you know, that's the sour. And then he tried to come back with flowers and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, please just come talk to me. I want to explain. Gets her in the vehicle to explain, does not apologize. Instead, dogs her out even further, gaslights her, telling her, oh, you didn't, it wasn't that far for you to walk anyway, so I don't see what the big deal is. And then telling her, like, actually you went too far by asking me about my child. Even though I lied to you about my child. He didn't take ownership. even went so far to say, well, I just feel like you were focusing on the wrong things, and I can't control the fact that I have a kid. Sir, you could have wore a condom. You could have protected yourself. But instead you had the kid, lied about it, and now are gaslighting me to my face because I asked about it after you disrespected me and made me walk home. No, that's not what he came. He did not come to apologize. He came to see if she would double down, allow him to have access to her, further proving my point that this man is dangerous. But I think the difference here between both the ladies is that the second young lady met the man, appears to have met the man at the establishment. The only reason why the first gentleman knows where she lived in the first place is because he picked her up. So I also think this is a great opportunity for ladies to kind of highlight just some dating safety protocol when you're out dating in the world. You do not know these people. So if you are going to have them pick you up, have them pick you up at like, you know, like an Uber pool location or something. Find a landmark close to your house, but don't have them pick you up at your exact address for situations like this. Like, this man could be delusional. What if she accidentally left her door open? He knows where she lives, and that man came to get what he was trying to get that whole time anyway. Don't set yourself up like that, ladies. Make sure if you're going to go out on a date, a man is going to pick you up, you don't know this man, have him pick you up down the street, at a coffee shop nearby, you know, walk around the corner. Do not give your exact location. Another thing is make sure that you always have a way out of there. Always. Make sure you either have a friend on standby to come pick you up if you need to get out of a jam. You have money for an Uber if you need to get out of a jam. And just make sure you have a way to get home, or you simply just drive yourself. Drive yourself so that you do not have to worry or feel coerced to stay in a situation and where you're not safe. It's best to always have a backup plan. Another thing is to always let your family or friends know where your location is going to be. Someone needs to know who you're going to be with. Someone needs to know what location you guys are going to in case anything crazy happens. And please notify those people when you get home so that someone knows that you are safe and sound. Because that him popping up at her house unannounced after making her walk home is crazy to me. But just be safe, ladies. Be safe, and do not ignore the red flags when a man is trying to coerce you into having sex with him or staying in a location where you don't want to be or going back to his house. Make sure you always have a plan to get out of a jam if you need to. And let me know down below what you guys think about this situation. If you would like for me to discuss more topics. If you see anything that you want to hear my opinion about, feel free to like shoot me a DM or an email, you know, letting me know you guys want me to talk about this, and I'll be glad to give my commentary on more of these types of videos, because I just feel like our safety is paramount. Our physical safety, our sexual safety, our mental safety, everything is paramount. And that is what I wanted to highlight in this video. Give two shits about who paid for the date, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and leave a comment below. And of course, subscribe if you would like to join the family. You can find more of me on TikTok and Instagram at TheLinkCP. And I will see you beautiful people in my next one. Smooches.
Love is a one in a million. It goes on and on and on. You give